Well, you guys, well, you little freaks, I think this week is yet another testament to my own bad taste. As it is another week where I ask, do not give me anything profound, do not give me anything meaningful, do not give me anything deep with metaphorical and symbolic meaning, don't give me anything to analyze. All I need is to see a bunch of people turned into gory mush.
It's a Friday once again.
Hello, my fellow freaks, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you have all had a splendid week. This week, we are looking at another viewer recommendation, an audience suggestion, and the person who recommended this film, I'm actually not sure if they are still in my community or not. I believe the username is nitro/energy and then a few numbers after it, but they were one of my very first supporters on here who made quite a few comments on my early videos, but I have not seen them in my comment section since the Gutterballs review. Now, nitro/energy is the same person who recommended Gutterballs to me, and they were really excited about my review. But if you have seen my Gutterballs review, you know exactly what my opinion of that film is. And I don't know if this person's still in my community or not. They might have been upset by my review, by my opinion of Gutterballs, and they might not be here anymore. However, I still wanted to include this recommendation on my list because it is still a viewer recommendation that I got, but also I've had this film on my watch list for a very, very long time, like years, even before I started my channel or anything. I have had this film on my watch list. In fact, I think when I made my Tubi account, it was the very first film that I added to my watch list. Like, I want to get to this eventually because the trailer like really sucked me in. I think the trailer did a really good job of not only hooking the audience, but now that I've seen it, I think it does a really good job of like promising things that the film actually delivers and even exceeded my expectations just a touch. Not much, but just a little bit, especially at the end, and especially in the special effects department. Oh my god, the special effects for this are crazy. And that film is Sweatshop from 2009 and directed by Stacey Davidson. Now, can I take you on a little bit of a journey of like emotional roller coaster that I was feeling directly before recording this? So the director, Stacey Davidson, Stacey, right? What does the name Stacey make you think? That it's a woman. So Davidson has made two pictures, which are Sweatshop and Domain of the Damned. And right before recording this, I really wanted to see if I could find Domain of the Damned anywhere online. And what came up was a Fangoria movie review, originally from 2007, but published on the internet last year through Fangoria. And the reviewer for the Fangoria article kept saying he in reference to the director. And of course, I'm like, who is this fucking asshole who thinks that like only men can be directors? Their name is Stacey. Why is this reviewer using he pronouns? Women can direct too. Turns out I'm the asshole reviewer because Stacey is not a woman. Stacey is in fact a man. And so today I have learned that Stacey is a gender neutral name. So I just want you to know that I'm kind of like reeling in some, because like I learned this right before hitting record. I am still like sitting in the disappointment that this badass Splattergore picture was not done by a woman. I was so happy when I watched this. I thought it was so badass that a woman made this, a woman wrote this, she directed it, she did the special effects. This is so badass, it's so gory, it's so cool, it's so mushy and gooey, and I love it. And yes, we need to have more women in spaces like this. There's even like I know this is only the introduction, but let me say, there's even dick mutilation in it, like quite a bit of dick mutilation, which only solidified my thought that Stacey Davidson was a woman. Stacey Davidson is a man. I mean, listen, it's not something that's going to affect my opinion or affect what I've already written for this review. Like, it's whatever. But I need to make it clear that I am still currently just like seething in this disappointment that this entire time I thought a woman made this badass, mushy, gooey Splattergore picture only to find out that it was in fact made by a man. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just disappointed because this whole time I thought it was a woman and I thought that was like super badass, but I just wanted to take you on that little bit of a journey because I feel like even my audience perhaps hears the name Stacey Davidson and you also probably think like, oh, that's so cool. This is made by... No, it's not. So, let us get into this discussion of Sweatshop. But first, if you are new here, hi, my name is STARGUTZZZ. Any kind of like running, crashing, or loud noises that you might hear happening in the background, those are my cats. Also, my movie reviews tend to be more of a discussion of elements that I find to be good or bad about a piece, rather than just giving you this big like play-by-play of everything that's happening. So in other words, I do try to refrain from spoilers as much as possible, but they will arise as they pertain to the discussion that I'd like to have with the piece. If you would like to watch Sweatshop before the rest of this review or after this review, you can do so on our good best friend Tubi TV. I feel like, has it been a while since I've been able to tell you can watch a film on Tubi? Like what was the last film? Was it Magic? But anyway, you can watch Sweatshop on Tubi. Without further ado, let's get right into this review. Sweatshop follows a group of cyberpunk, emo, and goth ravers as they prepare to host a rave at midnight inside of an abandoned warehouse. However, unknown to them, living in the shadows of the warehouse is a beast fueled by blind, uncontrollable rage. With the assistance of two ghoul girls, who I've been deeming the Grudge Girls, the beast spends the hour leading up to the big midnight rave by just completely obliterating every single person that it comes into contact with. I mean, I really don't know how else you want me to put it. Like, honestly, this film is less about the narrative and way more about being a special effects showcase, which I think makes sense. And I'll tell you why in a second. But I know for some, the whole special effects showcase of a film, like, oh, it's just a bunch of gore, it's just a bunch of special effects, there's no real narrative going on. I know that's like a negative or something bad for a lot of people. For me, I don't mind. It just depends on like what the director's doing, how it's being presented to us. Personally, most of the time, I have no problem with it as long as the film itself is still like pretty good in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like I just love special effects so much and I love keeping practical effects alive that if a film is a special effects showcase, to me that's not a bad thing. That's exactly what I like to see. Thanks for letting me know, hater. But as I said, I do feel like it makes sense that Sweatshop is such a special effects showcase because when you look at Davidson's like IMDb page and the things that he has worked on, you can see that I think he's only done 2 movies, maybe 3, but most of his credits are working as a special effects artist for other pictures. So I think it makes complete sense that Sweatshop is a special effects showcase because that seems to be what the guy specializes in. So like, yeah, make a whole movie that is a showcase of what you can do and then other directors might want to hire you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I kind of like it. I think it's cool. And I also think it's a really cool way to like get your art or your craft known, especially in like special effects. So yeah, I don't mind it, but I do want to note it because it might be a big negative for some people. So yeah, there's not really a narrative. Don't go into this expecting anything more than like a very cheesy, low budget Splattergore picture where every cast member looks like they met on Vampire Freaks. Which, by the way, fun fact, the trailer for this, or at least the trailer that's on IMDb at the end of it, it gives you a MySpace link where you can follow or friend the movie on MySpace. It is myspace.com/sweatshopmovie. I love that. Is that not just like so perfect that this film had a MySpace page dedicated to it? All of the characters look like they're from Vampire Freaks to me, but obviously, of course, MySpace is in there too, so. But yeah, really, just not a lot happening narratively. It's just a bunch of goths in a warehouse. Every single one of them is a victim because all we're doing is watching this crazy ass, brutal, animalistic thing just smash the hell out of them with a giant fuck ass hammer. And that's what I like to call it. Oh my god, it's such like a funny, crazy, and brutal weapon to have. Just like a giant fuck ass hammer. I love it, dude. So I'm really excited to talk about this film. So let's talk about it. Now, I do want to begin with this because I feel like maybe it is the largest compliment that I could give to this film. And that is that watching Sweatshop, it reminded me so much of Death Factory Bloodletting. The characters, the Saw-like filter, the warehouse, the Grudge Girls, the Grudge Girls look so much like Alexis, but also the Grudge. So, and I think the full vibe of this, the music, as I said, the filter, the fact that it's taking place in a warehouse and there's some creature living in this warehouse hunting other people down. And this and Bloodletting would have come out approximately at the same time, like within a year span. So I don't know, but a lot of the vibe of Sweatshop just really reminds me of watching Death Factory Bloodletting. Now, if you're new here and you don't know what Death Factory Bloodletting is, I'll put whichever side of the screen the card is on, I'll put up a card. But basically, Bloodletting is just like this really beautiful, grungy horror flick by Sean Tretta, and it just... Death Factory Bloodletting, to me, is just like such a beautiful, perfect little hidden gem. If you have not seen my video on it, please check out the card. I love it. So, the fact that Sweatshop just immediately started out giving me the same exact vibes as watching Bloodletting was such a good sign. And it also like never gave up, or it never let up on that throughout. So I was really happy. I was really pleased by that. And although there's not really a lot happening narratively with the flick, I did find the characters in Sweatshop, all of our little victims who we know will all have untimely demises. All of the characters I found to be like really likable. I mean, they're basic, they're cheesy, they're a little bit cliche, and perhaps even like caricatures of the types of goths and ravers that exist in the world. But that's also probably the reason why I like it, because they're little tropes and caricatures of like the different kinds of people that you meet within the alt scene. So I liked that. Yeah, it's cheesy. Yeah, they aren't like, you know, perfect, unique characters.
Are you ready to play hide and seek, baby?
Oh, we got many games to play.
But they are likable and they are really fun to watch. You know, like the dialogue. The dialogue's really cheesy. Throughout all of this, keep in mind, it is cheesy, low budget, B-movie, splattergore horror, okay? Dialogue's cheesy as hell.
Hey, Miko. You think Lolly over here is a real lesbo?
Oh, well, Scotty boy. I'm the kind that just likes the pussy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And while like that might annoy some people, I think within the context of this film, it just helps it become even more iconic in a way. It's like it's almost poking fun at itself. But the characters, all of them really are really good. They're well written to a degree. I think well written to the trope or the caricature that they're trying to define. Now, there are characters that like I hated, right? Like there are characters that I like more than other characters. But just because I like some characters more than others in this doesn't mean that I find the characters that I hate to be bad. In fact, most of the time, whatever character that you probably hate, well, the film has probably given you a reason why you should hate them, and it's, you know, kind of the point. You know, for example, I'm not a big fan of Jade. There's a lot that Jade does in this that just reminds me of people that I've known in my past, like some of the same patterns and everything, so perhaps it's biased why I don't like Jade, but I don't like Jade. However, that doesn't mean that I think she's a bad character. That doesn't mean that I think her character shouldn't exist in this film. In fact, I still very much enjoy the existence of her character and what her character gets into and how she helps to progress some of the story along. So that's what I mean by like, even if it's a character that's not my favorite, I still have something like positive to say about every character that exists in this movie, except for this guy who like really does nothing. He, I think, defends Jade once, and that's like the only time we hear him talk.
Don't do this, Kenny. This is between me and him.
Fuck him.
Whoa!
What are you, fucking deaf?
But even then, it's not like he's a bad character. He just like doesn't get any screen time. I don't know anything about him other than he stood up for Jade. Also, all of these characters really fit in together super well, and they interact with one another just like, again, really well. A really fun and playful manner. There are so many moments in this that become pretty memorable and quotable just because the characters work well together.
You and me, we're gonna fuck these suckers down as fast as we can.
Oh, so you're gonna out-drink me. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And when I win, you're gonna be a vegetarian, bitch.
I think I also especially liked the inclusion of there being like a redneck amongst all of these goths and these ravers. Something about it gives the idea that like they are in a more country part of the world, and I think that actually might even be accurate. I think this might have been filmed in Texas, and it kind of makes me feel reminiscent to when I was in like middle school and high school, because that was the crowd. Like a lot of the goths and emos did hang out with the rednecks because both like to party hard, you know? So like I really liked that inclusion even. Now Wade has a moment. Maybe I should have warned about this in the intro. Now Wade does have an instance that's really shitty. Let me give, I suppose, a very belated trigger warning for sexual assault in this film, and it is a little fucked up. It does not last long, and it is not graphic in the slightest. It is implied. It still makes me feel sick to my stomach a little bit because of what is being implied though. Moving on, but my all-time favorites in this movie, there's like, even though it's a cheap little B movie with a low budget, there are a lot of people in this. And so my three favorite characters of this group of like goth cyberpunk ravers, in order: number 1, Kim; number 2, Enix; and number 3, Miko. What do you want from me? Okay, Miko is so Harley Quinn coded. She is so baby Firefly.
Oh, girl. So much to learn. Okay, don't think of it as something you do on a whim. Think of it as an extraordinary favor to be invoked only in the face of extraordinary circumstances. Like more than ordinary, you know what I mean?
I'm sorry, I stopped listening.
What do you want from me, okay? Crucify me. I love Miko so much. I also love Kim so much. And okay, a little bit of a spoiler alert, but also maybe not a spoiler, because this is one of those films where as soon as you see it, you assume just everyone's gonna die because that's the point, right? I feel like Kim should have been the final girl. Kim was the best character. The person who ends up as the final girl, I'll talk about a little bit later, but like Kim should have been the final girl. What are we doing? And even though I have those three as like my top favorites, again, I can find something that I like about every character in this film. You know, like Scotty. Scotty is a character where I just have this really big love-hate relationship with him. He's such a tool. He's such a douchebag. He's such just like a...
What do you think you're doing?
Making your day.
I said cheap and pretty.
Not cheap and forget to call for 2 weeks. Fucking asshole.
But at the same time, Scotty has some of the best lines. Scotty has some of the best moments, the funniest moments.
What about chick cream? Is it a two-way street for you, Scotty boy?
Sweetheart, the only cream that I like is ice cream.
So many quotable moments from Scotty. So I have such a love-hate relationship with him. And speaking of that, as I think I already previously stated just a touch, this film does end up having quite a good handful of moments or quotes that are very memorable for the audience. And I think it's because all of these characters work so well together. Yeah, it's a cheesy, low-budget horror movie where just everyone dies and there's no real narrative going on, but yet, the characters are fun. They're likable. They make sense together. They interact well. And because they interact well, we end up getting a lot of memorable moments, a lot of quotable moments. However, it's not just our main cast that I find likable. The antagonist of this film, I am really into the antagonist of this film, who is deemed as the Beast in the credits. In the film, no kind of reference to what a name is, an origin, anything. It is like this big, brutal force of angry nature, uncontrollable, just wreaking havoc on any living thing in front of it with the giant fuck-ass hammer. I love this antagonist so much. The Beast is so ridiculous, but so badass. I really liked the design of the antagonist. I actually liked that we don't get an origin. I liked that it was just like this mysterious, brutal force of nature, the just unexplained rage. I kind of liked that. And I wonder if it's because so many movies like try to put a focus on the origin of the monster or whatever antagonist is there. There's always some kind of origin, right? And this might, now I'm not going to say it's the only time, but this is definitely one of the only times where we don't get any kind of origin or information for our antagonist, why they're doing this, who they are, where they even came from. And I kind of like that. I like that mystery because it almost makes this antagonist scarier. There's nothing scary about this movie, but when you really sit down and think about it, the antagonist for this is scary because it's just like you don't know where it came from, you don't know what it is, you don't know why it's just killing and mutilating anyone it comes across. It just is. And that is so much scarier than it having an origin. Now, I know I'm probably reading too much into it, but this is the perspective that I have about it. Actually, do you guys want to hear me read into this like way further than what's necessary? My own personal headcanon is that the Beast is a woman. I know he is literally not, okay? It is a man playing the Beast. Oftentimes in these things, big burly creature with big burly fuck-ass weapon is gonna be a man. It's played by a man. But in the moments that I thought this movie was made by a woman, I was really hoping that the Beast was a woman. Even then, still though, I knew, like, I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. But what if? What if the Beast was a woman? That's my personal headcanon. I know I'm wrong. I know that's not the intention, but that's what I like to believe when I watch this. Why? I don't know. I think I got it because of so much dick mutilation, and the two Grudge girls already exist. I'm sorry, I have this fantasy in my head that the Beast is like a big mama, and the Grudge girls are her daughters, and they are dick mutilating the world together as a happy family. Excuse me for having an imagination. That is my personal headcanon that I want to imagine every time I watch this. And you can't stop me. To me, the Beast is a beautiful, big, burly and violent woman, and I love her. But yeah, the giant fuck-ass hammer is it's funny and it's badass. It's such a cool weapon to have, and it just makes every kill feel very brutal and just almost like over-the-top cartoonish. Which brings me to the discussion of special effects within Sweatshop. For some reason, I keep wanting to call this Slaughterhouse. I don't know why. So as I mentioned, this flick is definitely way less about the narrative and way more of being a special effects showcase. And as I stated, I think this makes sense since Davidson went on to more focus on special effects in other movies rather than making his own. So yeah, I think it makes sense that Davidson has a film that is a special effects showcase to showcase the work he can do. And damn, is it good work. I mean, the special effects of this really are like the biggest highlight of the film. If you are a gore hound, this is exactly your type of movie. However, I have a feeling if you are a gore hound, you have probably already seen this film. And if you are one of the people who has already seen Sweatshop, then you know that I am not lying in the slightest when I say that this is a movie where the victims just get turned into confusing, gory mush. Everyone just gets turned into gory mush. They become a pile of blood, flesh, hair, and whatever clothes they were wearing when it happened. And in a way, you know what? Call me fucked up. I find it comedic. Not everyone, though, dies by being smushed like a bug. There are some kills in it that display some other special effects knowledge that Davidson obviously has. Like, for example, there's a really cool one of somebody's jaw being ripped off. I think that's even like one of the first kills that we get, and it's really cool seeing like the skin stretch and then eventually tear. He did a really good job. I was really impressed by it. And not only are these special effects just so killer, but I found some of these scene compositions to be really good as well. Like, there are quite a few moments in this where there's really good, like I said, scene composition, or there's really good use of lighting and shadow. It has some really good shots. It has some really beautiful shots. There were several moments where I was really impressed by the camera work. One of the moments that comes to my mind is whenever there's a moment towards the beginning where a character named Lolly is kind of exploring the warehouse on her own, trying to find somebody, and the moments of seeing her in like these dark shadows and a green light, and she has these neon yellow contacts in, and the way she's dressed and the way she looks, like, damn, man, that really takes you back to like the mid-2000s, doesn't it? And there were also some really good scene transitions as well that I thought were fun, that were clever, that were just like cool, you know, or really well pulled off. Now, admittedly, it does definitely have like the yellow-green saw filter on it, and I think some people could poke fun at this and like criticize it or whatever, right? I like it. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna admit it. I like the saw filter, okay? I think the saw filter is beautiful. I think every single film should have the saw filter on it. Can we do a re-release of Gone with the Wind, but with the saw filter? Thanks. I think you're mostly going to enjoy and appreciate this film if you are somebody who likes special effects, likes practical effects, and likes obscene, outrageous amounts of gore that doesn't even make sense. Like, when you have to watch this, obviously you've got to suspend your disbelief, because the amount of gore that we see, it's insane. It like is cartoonish, over the top levels of gore and splatter and just like guts, flesh. And personally, I do enjoy all those things. I enjoy it when the gore or the kills are beyond, which I think I've talked about this before. I know for a fact that I have talked about it in my grotesque video, which not only did this make me think of bloodletting, but it also made me recollect grotesque a little bit as well, where you just have to suspend your disbelief at what you're looking at and accept it and have, in this case, fun, but in the case of grotesque, I would probably say fun. I personally had a blast watching Sweatshop. Like, the kills are so incredibly brutal and unlike anything that I've really seen from any other film. There is one kill, I don't know if I'll be able to show it, but I know that they do kind of spoil it in the trailer, where there's a person up against like a iron grate and they get smashed with the fuck-ass hammer, and all you see is just like... And I also think it's worth noting that the ending of Sweatshop did not disappoint. Now, let me tell you, the whole time that this movie is happening and they're prepping for a rave that's happening at midnight in this warehouse, right? The whole time, I genuinely thought, we're not gonna see this rave. This rave isn't actually gonna happen. They have not been able to like hire enough people to make it look like there's a rave in here. Everyone's going to die like before the rave happens, right? But I was wrong. I am happy that I was wrong, because let me tell you how pleasantly surprised I was that there was a total rave massacre at the end of this film, which it just feels like a complete reward for watching the whole thing. And it also happened the exact way that I hoped, which is just a bunch of people getting smashed with a giant fuck-ass hammer. It's beautiful. It's cinematic gold. I love the ending. I love the rave massacre with the giant hammer. It's so good. And again, like I said, I felt like it was very rewarding to see. And then also the literal end. I'm not gonna say like how the literal end, like final shot, but I do really like it. I love the way this film ends. I think it has a perfect end. The trailer promised lots of gore and brutal kills. When the movie begins, it completely delivers on the promise that the trailer gives. It doesn't do too much more than what it needs to, and then it simply bows out at the very end. And I love that. I don't know if I could see this film end any other possible way than the way that Davidson has chosen to end it. Okay, as I have stated several times already in this, it is a cheesy, low-budget, Splattergore beauty of a film. And while it has some good, laughable moments that not only are fun to watch alone, but obviously would also be fun to watch with a group of friends, it does also have some genuinely draining moments as well. I think the biggest fault that I feel Sweatshop has is that it's just too long. It's too long. It's not even exactly a long movie. It's only about an hour and a half. But sitting at an hour and a half, I feel like it's too long. Like it maybe about 20 minutes too long. And I think it has to do with the middle of the film. The first third of it, it's pretty fast. The middle, it slows down a lot. It's so boring. It's dragging. And on the second watch, I noticed that the middle is dragging so heavily because it feels like we're spending so much time watching three of the characters dance. And then like interjected with that is some kind of romantic thing happening between Jade and the guy who has no personality that's stuck up for her. That's why the middle feels boring. That's why it feels like it drags. And by the way, now this is, I think this is kind of funny, but these goths are in such a hurry to get everything prepared for this rave, but the entire length of the film, all we watch them do is stand around, smoke, drink, and sometimes dance. I don't feel like we really see them set up for anything. They're all just like hanging out, and then sometimes Charlie comes in and she's like, hey, it's almost showtime. Why isn't everything together? Probably because you guys just are sitting around smoking and drinking like a couple of fucking goths. Anyway, I do find it funny. Also, I don't know if I should say who the final girl is. I don't think I will say who the final girl is, but I have a problem with who the final girl is. Because who ends up being final girl, she probably has like the second to least screen time in the entire film. Now, as I said, I want Kim to be final girl. However, Kim ends up getting fucked over the hardest, which is bullshit. The girl who ends up as final girl is just like such a whatever and meh choice, because I think screen time wise, the person that we see the less is the random guy. I think his name is Kenny, and then above him, just slightly above him, is who the final girl is. Kim and Scotty, in my opinion, from what I observed, seem to have the most screen time in this film. And so it's so weird that a girl that we hardly see, that we hardly hear from, that we only know a single thing about, who has probably like the least interesting personality too, again, because we hear from her the least, we see her the least, she's the final girl. Not my Kimmy, not my beautiful, sweet Kimmy, not my gothic Bernadette, but no, this girl who like doesn't say, who almost says nothing the whole time. Now, she does have the look of a like main character final girl, so should I be surprised? Probably not. I'm just wanting to gripe. Oh, and then also just like one other little con that I have to throw in here as well. Like 90% of the narrative was just one character going to look for another character. Like, I felt like these characters were constantly going to look for each other throughout the whole film. That's really the only thing that's happening, is like, hey, where's Ghost? Where's Jade? Where's Miko? Where's Lolly?
Where's Jade?
Where's Lolly? It's been a while.
Jade, did you find Wade?
And that's how things happen, is because they go off to look for the person, and death awaits. In a way that in itself is a little bit funny, but I can see a person like getting really annoyed by it. So, and there were a few times where I'm just like, is this all we're gonna do, is just go out in the warehouse and look for people who've randomly decided to leave the group? But something about that is a little bit campy also, you have to admit. Overall though, I think Sweatshop was a really, really fun watch, and I'm really glad that I kept this on my viewer recommendation list and that I finally got the opportunity to watch it. So thank you so much, Nitro/Energy, if you're still here in this community. Thank you so much for recommending me this film. I did really enjoy this, and I did definitely enjoy it way more than Gutterballs. I thought Sweatshop was it was very fun. It was an unserious watch. If you like special and practical effects, and if you like Splattergore, campy, cheesy, low budget, B-movie, over-the-top violence and gore, then Sweatshop is absolutely the film for you. If you have a problem with fun, no, I'm sorry. But if you don't like films that are just a special effects showcase, or if you don't like the brutal, crazy, like Splattergore murders, then Sweatshop might not be for you. But with the audience that I've cultivated on here, I have a feeling that quite a handful of you guys would enjoy Sweatshop. I do think it's a shame that Davidson has only made 2 pictures, because I would definitely watch more from him. Davidson, if you're out there and if you hear me, if you ever want to make another movie, I will sit my happy little ass down and watch it, because I really enjoyed Sweatshop. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was campy. I am so obsessed with the antagonist and his stupid fuck-ass giant hammer. If you like Splattergore and like over-the-top, like cartoonish amounts of violence, then Sweatshop is your movie. And it's my movie. I love it. Screw the paranormal thriller that has like a deep narrative with like deep, serious, disturbing things happening. I want person turned to bug mush. Squash them, squash human like bug, make me happy. I have never claimed to have good taste. The middle does feel like it's dragging quite a bit, and narratively there's like nothing really happening in the film. It is just, as I said, the special effects showcase, the splatter gore, the fun, outrageous campiness of it all. Like, and again, overall, the vibe. I just liked the vibe. I just liked this one. I think it was a lot of fun. And so what will I be rating Sweatshop? Sweatshop is getting the B tier. I think it's a lot of fun. The only real problem that I have with it is just that the middle is so boring, and I feel like the film does go on just a little bit too long. But even with the slow parts, like, it still comes in, delivers, and bows out in a very nice and respectful way. Now, halfway through my second watch, I started to really fall in love with this movie. I started convincing myself that Sweatshop might be A tier, and maybe in the future I will change it to an A tier. However, I think I started to feel that way because I began hijacking the narrative with my own ideas, such as the Beast being a woman, and I had to like kind of stop myself and be like, whoa, am I getting obsessed with this because of what it is? Or am I getting obsessed with this because I am now creating my own ideas derived from this? And I think the latter is what was true. So B tier, still really good though, still had so much fun, and I would recommend this to other people. And I will probably just be adding this into my cycle of fun, easy to watch Splattergore flicks for whenever I'm bored or want something on in the background. Like, I'm definitely going to be watching this again. And with that, we are done with yet another movie review. Thank you guys so much if you stayed all the way until the very end. If you like this video, please make sure that you stab that like button. It is a free and easy way to help support this channel. Also, is there a film that you would like to hear my opinion on, or that you would like me to see? Put it down in the comments and maybe you might see it in a future video. Also, did you just like this video so much that you want to hear me ramble about more low budget B-movie, bad cinema, gory cinema, splatter gore? Sometimes I dabble in disturbing cinema as well, or just like straight up actual bad movies. If you want to hear me ramble about more horror especially, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified every time I make a new upload, which new uploads are every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On the screen as well are some of my socials. Also, we're doing something a little bit different. If you are watching this on Friday, then please consider joining me on my YouTube live channel. You can find it at it's also linked in the description. At 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, I will be beginning a live stream run of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. So if you are interested in that, please, I encourage you to join me on the live channel. And with that, just let me give one final thank you so much to everyone who has stuck around until the very end. Our time here is precious, and the fact that you have used your time to sit here and listen to me ramble about a Splattergore movie where people just get smushed with a big ass hammer, and how much I just absolutely love it. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Just thank you. If I do not see you in a post, or if I do not see you in tonight's live stream, then I will see you in the next video. But until then, please have a great night and stay safe out there.
You fucked up. Now you gotta lick my
Shit, dude. You're right.